I am going to change so I can film the second part of this video and none of you will know that I filmed it within the span of like an hour in one sitting. Okay, I know what I said. I know I said I would change. I just don't feel like it. Shall we move on with my list? Shall we keep going? Shall we keep the fun going? Okay, shall we? Yeah! If you haven't seen my other video, I already filmed an unpopular K-pop opinion video before. This is kind of like the second part to it. Again, okay, disclaimer, all opinions are subjective, of course. We are like 7 bajillion thousand people on this planet. If you don't agree with what I have to say, that's on you. I'm always right. I don't care. Yeah, opinions differ. That's all I'm trying to say, okay? If I offend you, let's just get into this. Certain jokes are overused and just aren't funny anymore. And I'm saying this about a specific thing, and it's the Chan the alpha wolf jokes. Gosh darn it, they are not funny anymore. They're not funny. They were maybe funny a few times, but now not anymore. It's the Jimin, you've got no jams joke of 2023. It's not funny. Stop it. It's so overused. Let's come up with something else. If you keep a joke going for too long, it tires itself out, all right? Thank you. Next, K-pop tattoos are not inherently cringe, but by God, some of them are. Okay, before you say anything, first, I know it's your body. You can do whatever you want. But I feel like, I mean, we've been moving into better times, okay? If you say that you're a K-pop stan, it's not that cringe anymore, okay? Of course, it's getting more recognized in the Western world. A lot of people are becoming K-pop fans these days. Things are changing. Times are changing. It's not cringe anymore to admit to liking K-pop. But I feel like we still have a reputation. I feel like not everybody is quite as open-minded, and a lot of people are still like, oh, when you tell them. I also have a K-pop tattoo. My friends have K-pop tattoos, and I don't think that any of them are cringe. However, I met this person in Paris for Lollapalooza, and they showed me and my friends their tattoo, and it was a Stray Kids tattoo. It was all over their side, okay? It was so fucking huge. It was like these branches, these like flower branches or whatever. And it was like, I think 8 branches in total. And each branch had the birthday of a Stray Kids member. Like, this person had all 8 birthdays tattooed on her skin forever. I get that maybe a certain group has been there for you. Maybe they pulled you through a dark time, okay? Maybe they helped you. I am the last, like, I got my tattoo because this album was hurting and healing me at the right time. It was there for me, okay? I went through a rough patch. This album had my fucking back. But 8 members' tattoos, like, the birthdays? Bye. If you and I become friends and we discover that we like K-pop, and then you're like, oh yeah, I have like 8 tattoos all dedicated to Stray Kids, and I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking cool, show me. And you show me you tattooed their birthday on your body? Even, like, I was like, I'm in this BTS shit forever. Look at me now. Even if you're like, okay, even if I get out of this like phase or whatever, if I start liking another group, like, this group meant so much at me at the time that it doesn't really change that I have a tattoo now. I'm not gonna be ashamed of it or whatever. The birthdays, I'm getting hung up on this. I'm spending too much time talking about this, but like, it was humongous. This tattoo was so big. My mom, she would disown me if I was like, yeah, I got the tattoos of like 8 Korean men who don't know I exist permanently tattooed on my body, and it was so big. It's not like a fist where you can like cover it up somehow. That was fucking huge. Moving on, because I'm getting like, okay. We don't always like fail a group. The market is too oversaturated to care for and support each and every group that is being put out there, even if they make good music. Because I see a lot of tweets where like, oh, you failed group XYZ because you didn't listen to their music, you didn't stream. There's so many groups out there. I can't physically support each and every single one of them. With that being said, some groups do fail because they make good music, but they're not a big, already well-established group. It's so sad. I hear some songs from like groups where I'm like, oh yeah, people would eat this if this were like a Stray Kids, BTS, GOT7, 17, I almost said Big Time Rush. If this song came from a bigger, already established group, because as we established in the previous video, fans just consume. And I'm gonna talk about this later, but like a lot of fans just consume the music that the groups put out and they're like, I like this because my group put this out. Certainly, I am guilty of this. I would never listen to Wolfgang if it was just a song by a random group that I don't like. I listen to it and I accept it and I enjoy it because it's by Stray Kids. I don't want to hear anybody else barking but them. Next, this is not really that unpopular, but like we need more adult idols. We need more mature idols. I am so fucking sick and tired of like underage idols and kids debuting. I'm so fucking sick and tired of like freshly 18 or 19. I'm 25. It gives me an icky feeling when I'm getting into a group and I find out that a lot of them are like underage or like just off age. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna stay in the group. I'm just gonna enjoy the music. And then if they are so young, I don't buy the albums. I don't want photo cards of like a 15-year-old in the back of my phone. I don't want posters on my wall of children. So debut more adults, please, so I can give you my money. Also, Mamador, that was such a good thing. That was so good. We love mature concepts. Give us more adults. Because no fucking 14-year-old kid could pull off what Taemin's doing. I mean, no one can pull off what Taemin's doing if you're not Taemin, but like, you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, the next one is the next one, I'm just gonna say it. I think it's really funny that fans praise K-pop idols' looks when they've had plastic surgery. Let me explain this a little bit further. I know this sounds very controversial. First of all, I'm not shaming anybody. If you had plastic surgery, go you. Great. I wish I could afford that. I have an entire list of things I want to have done to me. I just am too fucking broke. Okay, I can't do that. So if you have surgery or if you had surgery, good for you. I'm not shaming idols for having had surgery in the first place. I just think it's so funny when people tweet, and I find this genuinely funny. When people tweet like, oh my god, they're so beautiful. Like, how are they this beautiful? How do they look like this when they just woke up? Plastic surgery. That's how they do it. Like, it's so, like, they're so, if the real, like, how do they look like a fairy? I can tell you how. Surgery. Of course, go on and keep praising idols' beauty. Whatever you want to do is fine. I just love the like how tweets because they had worked that. Like, that's how. Now we're gonna get a little bit more serious. So I want you to calm down, take a breath. And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say something and you're going to agree with me because literally, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, if you disagree with this, you're the fucking problem. Assigning like a mental disorder or diagnosing idols with things is fucking weird. I've seen enough people who are like, idol XYZ has autism and here's why. And then pulling proof or saying like, oh, idol XYZ has like this mental disorder. That's fucking weird. Don't do that shit. Going back to what I said in the first video, you don't know these people. You don't diagnose strangers. You're not licensed to diagnose anybody. You're not a professional. And even if you were a professional, you don't know these people. You don't talk to these people. Stop being fucking weird online. The boundaries when it comes to K-pop are so blurred, okay? Like, K-pop is a double-edged sword and it's full of controversies, but use common sense, use your brain, just the tiniest little bit, and don't go around putting idols on a spectrum because you feel like they should be on a spectrum, because you think you're entitled enough to say this kind of shit. Are you a doctor? Have you spent time with these people? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's fucking weird. Stop doing that. Just stop doing it. Okay, next. Quick and simple. Not all choreographies these days need to be complex or hard. That's it. That's literally it. Next, going back to the critical thinking skills, you are allowed to not like something a group that you stan does. Or more specifically, you are allowed to not like maybe a certain song or an album or some type of music that they release. You're allowed to have your own opinion and you don't need to like it just because your favorite group put it out. That's fine. Especially if the group like changes styles a lot or the sound of the music is a little bit different. You're allowed not to like that. That is fine. That is okay. You don't need to like everything that a group puts out. It's okay. As I said, you're not getting paid for this. K-pop's not a job. It's a hobby. You're supposed to enjoy it. Why would you enjoy something that you don't enjoy? You can't always like everything. Only 3 more left. Rookies are not losers anymore. And a lot of people have pointed that out. They're like, oh, I miss when rookies looked like absolute losers when they debuted. And they're right. These days, they have the budget and the styling and the sound, and it's very present day, trend oriented to make sure that it hits and that it gets consumed, that it charts. And it's kind of sad. I don't know. I just miss when we had a person, $5 and a dream. I miss that because it's really nice to like look back after a certain time has passed and see how far the idol has come. When rookie groups debut, or like rookies debut, and they have the budget and the music video looks good, and you can see that they're wearing like brands, like high-end, really expensive brands. It's not really as enjoyable to look back in time and be like, oh yeah, how much they've grown. You know, they wore Gucci when they debuted and now they wear more Gucci. Like, I don't know. And I think kind of tying into that, I feel like 4th generation feels different. I don't really know what it is. I can't really put my finger on exactly what feels so different about 4th generation, but I feel like we have way less interactions between groups. Everything feels way more manufactured, if I can say it like that. Award ceremonies are boring because like the crowd is just like sitting there. Like as I said before, we don't really get as much interaction. We don't really get the crowd partying, losing their minds like we had before. Rookies started looking professional. I feel like groups these days, like a lot of them, they have more of a coworker feel to them than, you know, being a family and having trained together for a long time, being prepared for debut. So they like grow together as a unit and then they debut and it's just a family feel. I feel like we don't really have that anymore. I feel like 4th generation just has this different feel to it. And I don't enjoy that as much, and I don't enjoy 4th generation outside of the music. Before anybody gives me any shit about Stray Kids being 4th generation, I know Stray Kids is 4th generation, but a lot of these groups, just like ITZY, they're 4th generation still, but they're so close to 3rd generation that it kind of like feels that they still belong into 3rd generation. You know what I'm trying to say? Bitch, I love Stray Kids, and I know that technically they're 4th generation. I think 80s is also 4th generation. I'm talking more about the groups that come out nowadays, like New Jeans, LE SSERAFIM, IVE, heavy on the IVE one. The newer 4th generation groups that are also more kind of like getting into 5th generation. I'm old, holy fuck, man. 5th generation, are you kidding me? Last one, putting your name on Twitter, for example, or like TikTok, or like any social media platform, putting your name in hangul is so fucking weird if you are not of Korean descent. Why are you doing, like, are you doing it for the aesthetic? Are you doing it? Like, just don't. Because you wouldn't randomly put your name in Arabic, right? You wouldn't use like old Egyptian hieroglyphs, right? I don't want to be your friend. I don't even want to be your Twitter mutual. If I read on your Twitter that your name is Karen, okay? Your name doesn't change just because you put it in Korean lettering. Okay, I managed not to offend an entire country in this one, which is great. But yeah, if you have any suggestions of any countries I'm not allowed to enter, tell me about them and I will not go there. Or if you are from a country and you don't want me to come to your country, let me know so I know not to come to your country. But you need a valid reasoning, okay? You can't just say, I'm from Finland and I don't want you to come. No, you need a reason. Just one country though, because I already have 2 and I want to get a strike, so 3. No, that's not a strike. I already have offended 2 countries. There's just room for 1 more. Thank you. Don't find out where I live. And I will be sleeping with one eye open from now on. So, bye-bye.